I'll give you an engine, low to the ground, give you an extra big oil. Custom ram from underneath it. That'll give you 30 to 40 extra horsepower. I'll give you a fuel line with an extra gallon of gas. I'm going to shave a ½ inch off you, and I'm going to shape you like a bullet. Get you primed, painted, and weighed, and you'll be ready to go out on that racetrack. You hear me? It'll be perfect. Well, hello there. Welcome to Full Size Ford. So, back in like June-ish, my wife and I were kind of talking and said, you know what? Might be kind of fun to do that duct tape drags thing, you know? The one down in Arizona. She said, yeah, that would be kind of cool. Because, you know, never seen the Grand Canyon. We could check that out too. So I'm like, yeah. So we signed up. And here it is, almost middle of September now, and I realized that the only running car that I have is a 1960 Edsel with a 223 six-cylinder that puts out a whopping 145 horsepower. So, and I was thinking, you know what? It would be kind of cool. I mean, if we had like the slightest chance of not getting trailered in the first round. So I'm like, we're going to need a different car. We're going to need something with V8 power. So what I decided to do, no, not this car. So what I decided to do was take this 1960 Edsel, which is V8 powered, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a fighting chance. Big car, big engine, right? Well, let's take a look. Alright, let's just get under the aerodynamically modified hood right here. Oh yeah. No. I don't think that's going to quite cut it either. So what we've got here is a 292 cubic inch Y block that was rated in 1960 at 185 horsepower. Plus you throw on the air conditioning, that's going to rob 50 right there. And then on top of that, we add in the fact that this motor's frozen. We've got about 4 weeks. But it's okay. Because I have a plan. So, in my garage, I've got this FEV8, which has been mostly uncovered and improperly stored for the past 10 years. And it's nothing special. It's supposedly out of a '69 Mercury cop car. So I figured, why don't we throw an intake on this? I think I've got one somewhere. throw a C6 behind this, get it swapped into the 60 Edsel, and just see what we can do. I mean, let's have some fun. I mean, going on the trailer in the first round isn't fun, but, you know, maybe this gives us a fighting chance. I don't know. What do you think? I think I got to quit standing around and got to get to work. Because I got a lot of work to do. Now, find that intake. Alright, so now to find that manifold, which I think is going to be right over here. Let's get through on the jack. Where? Man, I really got to quit hoarding stuff. So I think it's in this box right here. It says Galaxy trim, lens, bezels, etc. But I don't think that's what's in the box. And there she is. Probably not the right manifold for a stock engine with stock heads, but she's an old Holly Street Dominator. Should be fine, right? Then here, sitting next to this engine, is the transmission that we hope to use. Now, I drove the car. This came out of a 1970 Galaxy. It was behind a 390 two-barrel. I did drive the car that this transmission came out of, and it did shift through all three gears, so it's probably going to be a little slushy, but it'll get us down the track. Do we throw a shift kit in it? No, probably don't have time. Alright, so I've already got a little issue with my plan. So I've got these Baldy valve covers I run on this engine that are original to an Edsel. But I have a later model aluminum intake. The problem is the aluminum intake has no provision for an oil fill tube. Neither do the early valve covers. So to run the newer intake in my early valve covers, I have no way to put oil in the engine. Right. Okay. Alright, so I have three different options I could do. Again, I know I'm not going to win the thing, but I'd like to be at somewhat competitive. I don't want to be like a 22-second car. I have some cast iron intakes with the oil fill tube and the road draft tube. That's an option. I have an early aluminum intake on the truck, on my F100, that does have the provision for the road draft tube, which I could rig up a PCV possibly and use as an oil fill. The other option is to scrap my Baldy valve covers and run more modern valve covers with PCV and oil, oil fill in the valve cover, and I don't want to do that. What do you guys think I should do? I don't know. I'm leaning towards option 2. I think I'm going to take the intake off the truck. That way I can use the valve covers that I want. Second option of the first three options, which would actually be option 1, which is because I was like 1, 2, 3, and option 1 would be the cast iron intake with the road draft tube and the oil fill tube, but that adds weight to the front of the car, and those intakes aren't as good a performance. So let me know in the comments down below, what would you do? I want it to look original as possible. I don't want to look like it's got a bunch of aftermarket day 2 mods on it. So, anyway, continue cleaning up this gasket surface for this, for whatever intake I end up using. This is for those people who comment, he never works on anything. We never see you actually doing anything. Well, to be honest, I spend most of my time working on customers' cars at work. So I don't get a whole lot of time to work on my own cars. But that's okay. Because you gotta pay the bills, you know? I hope to be able to retire in a couple years. Then have a lot more time to make content and bring you more really cool full-size Ford stuff. That's in the future. It's coming. Just bear with me. I need to get the vacuum and vacuum this. I got one piece of old gasket here that's really stuck. Hey, I think we're there. All right, let's clean all this up. China wall's cleaned up. Just a crusty old truck motor here. Supposedly it's out of a 69 Mercury police car, but it was in a 74 F-250 when I got it. Supposedly has about 60,000 miles on a rebuild. Of course I got paperwork with it. No, I didn't. Truck seemed to run good though. See, these FEs have a little dowel right here on this front China wall that kind of lines up the factory intake. A lot of your aftermarket intakes don't have a provision for that, so sometimes you can get them out of there, pull them out. At other times where I've just had to grind them off flush because they won't come out. So we may have to address that depending on which intake we use. Hospital clean, my dad said. Hospital clean.
Alright, so here's basically our overview plan for the car. This is just kind of a, I know there's going to be a lot of little details that are wrapped in that I'm not going to discuss, but basically it doesn't necessarily have to be roadworthy, it just has to pass tech. So we need to fix the brakes, swap out the Y-block for the FE. We're going to swap out the, if you'll notice, PRNDL. Oh, car's got 86,000 miles on it. So the PRNDL means that we've got the 2-speed Ford-O-Matic. And you might say, wow, that's awesome if you're going drag racing because you only need to shift once down the track anyway, right? I mean, guys have used power glides behind things for years. Big engines. Well, the 2-speed Ford-O-Matic does not have quite the performance following that the actual Power Glide from GM did. Not really any performance parts available for it, so we're gonna have to swap to a C6. We're going to end up most likely having to fab some kind of cross member or modify the existing cross member. Kreitz used to make a cross member for the to put a C6 in these earlier cars, but with the passing of Charles Kreitz in 2023, they are no longer in business. So they did sell their fiberglass molds to another company. If you go to Kreitz website, it'll give you their phone number. So if you're looking for a teardrop bubble hood or fenders or bumpers, something like that, that stuff is still being made. So there's good news there. So anyway, so Ford-O-Matic coming out, C6 going in. We will get a different seat in this to make it so I don't have springs poking me in the butt. Or maybe we just throw a blanket over it. I don't know. Anyway, we've already done some weight reduction here. You see the headliners out of it. So we got that going already. Like I say, I don't want to just go to pose. I would like to be somewhat competitive. The other, let's walk around the other side here. I do have some different wheels for it, just some stock type wheels with some dog dish hubcaps. The rear bumper is in the car. I probably will leave that off just to shave some weight. But basically running a FE engine with a 4-barrel carburetor, exhaust manifolds, no headers. We're trying to tune it as best we can. The other thing is, the only other thing that I can really do is some rear gear. Without having a lot of RPMs and a lot of motor, I need a lot of rear gear. So the 3:10 ratio that's in this is not going to work. I'm going to swap it out for something a little deeper. I'll give you some details on that in the next video. But anyway, other than just getting all this trim and stuff cleaned out of it and so forth, we got our work cut out for us. All right, so there's the preview to our duct tape drags car. I know she ain't much to look at, but she'll get you where you want to go. Again, if any tips, tricks, anything to add that you would do to this car on a budget. No, I can't buy a 671 blower. I can't order up a Gearstar transmission. I can't do any of those things. I don't want to end up in the power outer class, so no nitrous oxide or anything like that. We just need like a basic kids 70s high school street machine. You know, I'm working at a gas station for minimum wage while I'm going to school. Every once in a while I get a couple bucks to throw into the car, but so that's what we're after. You know, working 60 to 70 hours a week in a regular job doesn't leave a lot of time to work on this, and we've got about 4 weeks till we leave. Do we have to have this car on the trailer headed for Tucson? So we will probably have one more video posted before that on the progress that we've made. Anyway, thank you for watching this preview. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And if you're bored, go back and watch one of our older videos that you haven't seen yet. You can go back and watch the video where we retrieved this car from Las Vegas. It's kind of one of the longer ones, but there's a couple little side things. There's a visit to the Shelby American in Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. We did make a brief visit to Count's Customs, although you're not allowed to film in there. So yeah, check that out. If you're bored and you don't have anything to do. We'll see you on the next full-size Ford video. God bless. Have a wonderful day.